Hey, Catherine.
Hey,
Hey there, I'm Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to This Old House. It is a whirlwind of activity here on our Westerly, Rhode Island project. The carpenters and the painters are working on the final touches. Hey, Garrett, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
And it is a whirlwind because in just a couple of days, our homeowners Scott and Shayla are moving back into this house. Now, a year ago, well, it did not look like this at all. It was a 1940s ranch, well built, but hadn't been updated in many years. And look at what we have now. This is our new front entryway, off to the right a little bit and a lot bigger. And this leads right into a wide open floor plan. Hey guys. We've got the public space up front with the kitchen and the family room, and more private space down at the end of the hallway, including an office and a playroom, and they're both getting TVs. We'll start with the playroom, and Chris is our TV expert. Chris, good to see you.
Nice to see you, Kevin.
What are we putting up?
We have a 55-inch TV going on a flat bracket.
So we want it, what, nice and flush to the wall, flat to the wall?
Nice, flat, flush to the wall. We have a specific height for this. It's going to be at 60 inches.
So no swing, no swivel, no articulation?
No, nothing like that. The only reason we would need a tilt is if the TV was going much higher on the wall.
Okay, so brackets are going in. You got one, you got another one going in right here. Custom to this TV or standard?
No,
bracket?
this is, it's pretty standard. These actually work up to a 37 all the way up to a 90-inch TV.
Beautiful. A couple little things that come with
Yep.
the kit, I presume?
Exactly. This is the Western pattern. Not all TVs are going to have the same exact size, but this particular type of mount does work with just about any TV you buy these days.
Okay. We got two going in there. And what are these going to hang off of?
These are going to hang off the wall bracket.
Yes, right.
This is it. With the two brackets being so close together, it gives us plenty of options to move it left and right. Just in case we can't hit the stud dead on,
Right.
we'll have plenty of room to move it to make sure it is centered.
Low profile, close to the TV.
Very
okay.
close. So I've already measured this wall. I have my center mark from left to right. Now we just need to find 60 inches from the floor to center of the TV.
And so 60 inches wide.
60 inches is the average viewing height when you're standing up.
Okay.
All right.
So 60 up on the center line.
So there's 60 inches. We know that the TV is 28 inches high. So the center of that is going to put us at 14 inches. And I've already pre-measured the mount on the TV.
So from the center up 14, this is now the top of the TV?
That's correct.
And your mount comes down, you said you measured?
6¼ inches.
Down from there.
Yep, so I'll just make a mark.
Okay, so that's where our bracket hole's gonna go.
That's correct.
What now?
So now I need to find two studs for this particular mount.
Okay.
So I know I have one here. So typically studs are 16 inches on center.
And your two electrical boxes is telling you that they hung those off of a stud.
That's correct. So the electrical box has to be attached to the stud.
Yeah.
So all I'll do is just make a tiny little mark here. I'm going to grab my stud finder just to confirm that I do have a stud there.
Bang.
And it tells me there's one there.
Dead nuts. Okay. Okay, you can sink one of those?
Absolutely.
What do you want right there?
That is perfect.
Okay. Level that.
Perfect. Level.
Okay. And now drill the rest of the holes.
Now drill the rest of the holes. I already have my marks made.
Okay.
All right. So now, Kevin, if you want to install the local area network connection, I'll
LAN?
plug in the power.
There? LAN?
Yes, LAN.
Okay.
Perfect. So now we're ready to take the TV and put it on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So what I like to do is we don't want to put any pressure on the screen. So what we're going to do is hold it by the bracket itself, and about a third of the way down, we just want to gently hold it to stand it up. All right. From here, let's just grab it from the bottom. Now you see the two hooks on the back bracket.
Ooh, Clicks right in.
That click lets you know that it's secured.
Okay.
All right, so the next step is to level the TV. We're gonna make sure it's level. Sometimes the mount from the manufacturer isn't always perfect. So as you can see, we are off a tiny bit. And there's 2 adjustments on the back bracket that allow us to make sure it's level.
Give you this so you can get up there.
Perfect. All right, not every TV bracket has this fine adjustment, so it makes it really handy in this instance. And that looks good.
All right, get this out of your way. Can we plug this thing in?
We sure can. Underneath, we have 2 little tabs we need to pull. This is going to allow us to free the TV from the wall.
Nice.
All right, now if you feel underneath, there's 2 little tabs. They act as kickstands.
Yeah.
Gives us the ability to work with it.
Okay. Come up, 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 up. Yep, there you are.
There we go.
That's the lower one. Here comes Ethernet. Beautiful. Kickstands go away. Look at that. Nice.
Perfect. So I have another TV that has to go on an articulating arm upstairs. You want to give me a hand?
Love to.
Fantastic.
Let me just pop this panel. Okay. Why don't you grab that? Thank you, sir.
Oh, water heater day.
It is, it
We're getting
is.
close.
We are. Electric hybrid water heater. It's
My favorite.
Great. I know, you specify them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of reasons for me is I don't have to vent it, we don't need a gas line, and it dehumidifies the basement.
For sure. So the way it works is pretty straightforward. On the bottom, it's a conventional electric water heater, and that means it has electrical elements like this. Standard electric elements are like 4,500 watts, and there's 2 of them, one here, one here. But we really don't want these on if we can help it, because it makes the electric meter spin like crazy. But they're here inside the tank as a backup. What makes it different is at the top, it has a heat pump. And a heat pump is really just a glorified air conditioner in reverse. So in normal mode, the fan is on, and it brings room air from the basement across this cooling coil right here, this refrigerant coil. Now the refrigerant coil will pick up any heat that is in the localized air. That heat gets retained into a vapor that's inside the refrigerant. It passes with a compressor, and now that compressor will compress that vapor, making it hotter. It moves down into a heat exchanger at the very bottom, and that heat exchanger wraps around the tank and gives up its heat to the tank water. So now that cold water becomes hotter. By the time it gets to the bottom, that refrigerant is cooled again. Now it comes back and the cycle repeats and just does it all day. So it's pretty cool. So as you know, anytime you have a cold refrigerant coil like this, water will form on the cold surfaces. That's called condensate. It's really the humidity that's in the air. It gets distracted, falls down off the coil, and comes out through a drain right here. Right. Now, there's a lot to love about these things. You know, it's a conventional water heater with a heat pump on top. The premium is what, like $500 more? But the utilities are really helping out a lot now.
Yeah, in our region, we'll get a $750 rebate on that.
Now, that's not bad, because that actually is this thing is going to be 2 to 3 times more efficient than a conventional water heater. All right, interface for the homeowners is pretty cool right here, simple. Up and down for temperature right here. You can choose between hybrid, electric, or even vacation mode, so it's easy touchpad right here.
So what would be a reason for electric mode only?
You know, you had a full house of people, all the in-laws are over, you got to make sure that you deliver for pups. So this thing, I'd love to leave it right out here because you get all of this air, but where Josh has got it roughed in is in this back corner here. You can see our hot and cold distribution piping. There's a condensate drain here.
Well, we'll add louvers on this door, so that way we're pulling the air.
Nice, I want to get as much in as I can. We will have hot water in a week.
All right.
All right, brother.
All right, I'll check in with you later.
Thanks. With just a few days left, Jen is rushing to get our landscaping in place, and things are coming together.
They are really coming together. We have most of the plants in the ground. Sod is here. We have a few more plants to go, and hydroseed in a couple days.
Love all the activity.
There's a lot going on here.
So what was the plan down here, Jen?
So we had this very large slope to deal with, and I wanted to cover it with perennials and plantings, but also stabilize it.
Right.
So what we did, we found some boulders on site and we integrated them into the hillside to help stabilize certain areas.
Love the boulders.
The boulders are amazing. They're from here, they belong here. So another thing are the perennials. So picked perennials like this is a geranium, and it's going to spread and cover the hillside. This is called catmint, and again, it's going to just puff out and start to spread and cover the mulch areas.
Okay.
Another thing I did is put in different kinds of hydrangeas. So up top we have the blue mophead hydrangeas that have more of the rounded flower.
Yeah.
This one is a panicle hydrangea, and it's called the Little Quickfire. It gets about 3 feet high, but it blooms just a little bit later.
So we got color going throughout the year.
Yep, and then we also have texture. This is a dwarf fountain grass. It gets about 2 feet high. These plumes come out in the fall time. How beautiful is that?
That's great.
And then behind it, we have a maiden grass that gets a little bit taller to about 5 feet. So in the wind, you're gonna get this sway and texture. It's really beautiful. Cool. These are anemones. They're another fall bloomer. And continuing down the slope, we also have knockout hydrangeas, knockout roses up here. You're gonna have constant color throughout the entire summer. Right. But then you think about the spring, you don't wanna forget about the spring. This is a understory tree called a redbud, an eastern redbud. It's gonna flower in May-ish.
So understory meaning?
Meaning it's not gonna get as big as a maple or an oak. It's gonna stay more contained, about 20 feet.
Cool.
So over here, we have some more shrubs. This one's so beautiful. It's called Nitea. It flowers in the spring, a nice white flower, and then it turns this gorgeous Merlot color.
Love
and
it.
I know, it's so beautiful.
Fall color's great already.
And this one is a dappled willow. Love the texture when the wind is blowing. It's just spectacular. So it's gonna play off the grasses.
Somebody went on a shopping trip.
Well,
So you said you still have more stuff to put in the ground?
we have a couple more trees, and then that's about it. And then we're just gonna get the sod in.
It's nice when you get to this stage and the final touches start to go in.
I mean, the plants really come and bring it all together. It softens the house. It brings it all down. So we're getting finished up here. We have a few more shrubs to plant, but we're also going to do landscape lighting.
Right. Thank you, John. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So what are we doing for lighting?
We are doing low voltage landscape lighting. So these fixtures are made of brass. They have LED lights.
All right, so let me see if I can find that in here. Oh, yeah. Boy, that's a nice bit of improvement, isn't it?
Right. I mean, the less power that it takes, it's amazing compared to what old bulbs are.
How many watts do you think these things are consuming?
This one's 2 watts, this one's 4.
Whew, nothing to it, all right. So these are for?
This is an uplight, and we're gonna uplight all the trees in front, okay?
Nice.
So I'm gonna show you. They're really easy to put in. You pick a location. This type of tree I want 2 lights, because if you just put 1 light, it makes it really flat.
Yep.
By placing one across from each other, you have the cross stream, and it illuminates the whole tree.
Okay, so one on either side of each other?
One on either side, and all you do is pull back the mulch, and then you take the stake, and you put it in the ground.
Beautiful.
And then the other one will go on the opposite side. And another great thing is you can adjust the fixture. So there's this little dial right here. So according to the shape of your tree and the branch, you have much flexibility.
Right. And so what about in 10 years when this tree is twice as high and twice as wide and now that's buried underneath the tree?
It's very easy to pull these right out of the ground. When we install them, we always have quite a bit of slack, so you could relocate the fixtures.
Low voltage, so we don't have to worry too much about the wiring there.
Exactly.
This is obviously for pathways.
Yep, this is a pathway. And what we want to do is create safety and a safe access way into the house.
Got to run a stairs. We don't want to be tripping on these.
Yeah, so about 12 to 18 inches out, find your location, and you want to illuminate the whole run.
How many do you think we'll need on a run that's this long? It's about 6 or 8 stairs.
Every 2 to 3 steps, I probably would illuminate.
Beautiful.
And so what the path lights do with this little hat on top, it casts the light down and onto the steps, so you're not going to have a beam shining in your face.
And I presume today we can control these a dozen different ways, right?
Right, they're all hooked up to a transformer. You could have it on a timer with a photocell. You could have it on an app, and you could even have it on a switch in your house.
Old-fashioned on-off switch.
It's whatever
All right.
you fancy.
Jen, it's coming together. I mean, we're getting really close.
I know, I cannot wait.
What's left?
Next is the sod, then followed by the hydroseed next week, and we should be all set.
You got 1 week.
It's go time.
Let's
do it.
All right, thank you. There are windows all along the back of the house. They face southeast, which means, Scott, in the morning, I guess, going to be flooded with sunlight in here. So you'd like to black that out.
Absolutely.
So shades.
some blackout shades.
But first, how excited are you to be this far along with 1 week to go?
It's unbelievable.
Right? Big difference.
We're getting there.
So what did you choose for shades?
So it's a cellular product and has a blackout material inside of it.
Oh yeah, so almost like a foil, right? So that'll cut out the light and then kind of honeycomb on the outside.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's what's going up. We got a bigger window right here. How'd you get started?
So just took some measurements to get started, and on every window, I just did 3 vertical measurements just to find the longest one, and then 3 horizontal measurements to find the shortest one, so I know that I can do an inside mount.
Yes.
And tuck it in through all the trim work.
So these are custom. You sent the
Correct.
measurements, and they send you back a custom shade.
Exactly.
So this is the big boy right here. And you said inside mount, so you want it to tuck
Correct.
in there?
Yep.
Looks like your measurements are good.
Not too bad, right?
Not too bad. All right, and what are we doing about mounting them?
So it comes with these little tabs, and on a long one like this, they recommend 4.
All right, I got one here that's not in yet.
Sure.
You can see the hardware and the screw. And based on what you've got in there already,
We're gonna go to this mullion.
that's gonna go right to there. So 2 to the mullions. You do not have mullions on the far left or right. Have you
Correct.
accounted for that?
Yes, I have. Yeah, so we've taken a measurement from this jam detail to the mullion,
Yeah.
and
Little combi square there.
yeah, we've set our depth, and now we can carry that depth over out onto the jam where we really don't have anything to gauge that off of.
You've been watching. Mr. Silva would be proud. No measurements, no math. Just use a little template, right?
Right.
Okay, let's install.
Okay.
I'll hold this here if you want to get after it. Get this started for you. Okay, you're good to go. Not too bad. Take that from you. I'm going to mark this one over here while you install that one.
Perfect.
Okay. Nice. All right. What do you think of that?
I mean, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I like that look. So I heard drapes are going in somewhere too?
Yeah, down in the dining room and the living room.
Let's go check it out.
All right. Sue, this is Kevin.
Hey, Sue. Nice to meet you.
You too.
So these are the drapes. Scott, did you have a hand in these as well?
0.
Same way in my house. All right. So, Sue, what are we working with?
We're working with a printed cotton fabric. It is got a backing of an interlining to give it some body.
Okay.
It's called Lotus Spice, and we're going to be putting up 2 panels on either side of the door to flank the door. They're not going to be operating. They're just going to be for color.
Gotcha. Okay, and you guys are ready to go?
They're ready to go.
All right.
Beautiful. We got this fabric at 10 o'clock this morning. I had 4 people working on it, sewing all day to get them done, ready to go up.
Good for you. You happy, Scott?
I think they look great.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
Nice
Thank
job,
you.
Sue. All right, I've got one more project with Jeff out back, but thank you. Nice job. When Jen and Roger walked this property a year ago, they found a flagpole hidden back here in the trees. Well, now those trees are all down and the flagpole is exposed, and the homeowners have told us they'd like to reuse it. So Jeff, what do you think? Can we save it? Can we reuse it?
Well, it's cedar.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's this old cedar log, basically.
Is it punky anywhere? I mean, the
No,
paint's
it's pretty
obviously
solid.
old,
It
but-
needs a little paint.
Yep.
I mean, the easiest thing would be to replace it, but this thing's been here for 70 years, and you know, it'd be a shame to.
It's also huge. I mean, look at the
It's
size. I mean, what do you think this is?
40 feet.
40 feet with a little bit of a bend in it.
Yeah, yeah. So Tommy's got a theory on that bend.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Oh my gosh, let me hear this.
He's thinking that the sun is what's caused that to bend, and if we flip it around the other way, it'll self-correct itself.
That sounds exactly like Tommy. You buying that?
Well, if it works, it's my idea.
For you.
If it doesn't, I'm blaming on Tommy.
So clearly we've got to clean this up, repaint it, scrape it or whatever, which means we got to get this down.
Yeah.
and process for that?
So, well, this thing is in this tabernacle structure here, and it's got 3 bolts. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the bottom 2 bolts, and that's going to allow us to pivot it down. And we're going to use the lift to lower it down, and then we'll set it on the sawhorses there so we can clean it up and paint it.
I like to hear the lift. That's a good device to have for something this tall.
The problem is once we go to put it back up, we're not going to have the lift. This will all be landscape. So we've got to come along attached to that tree kind of thing going on where we'll be able to lift this back into place.
Is that a Tommy theory or is that yours?
No, that's mine.
Cool. All right. Well, if it works, then you can own it. All right, let's get it down.
All right. We're going to bring the lift up to about 4 feet from the top, and that's going to sit right here. And then Garrett and Wayne are going to lower this thing slowly. Now, we estimated that this is about 450 pounds, so there's no problem with the weight load as long as we just go slow.
Okay. You guys ready to go up?
All right, let's go.